I never thought my quiet suburban life would crash into military security protocols, but that's exactly what happened last Sunday when our neighborhood HOA president, Karen Matthews, decided my driveway was the perfect parking solution for her garden party guests. My name is Mike and I've lived in Oakwood Estates for 3 years now. My house sits at a unique spot. While the front faces the main neighborhood road, the back of my property connects to a small access road that leads to a military communications facility. When I bought the house, the military liaison made it very clear. The gate at the back of my property was to remain locked at all times, and only authorized personnel could use it. I signed several documents agreeing to these terms, installed a heavy-duty lock, and never gave it a second thought. Until Karen entered the picture. Karen Matthews became our HOA president 6 months ago, running on a platform of neighborhood beautification and community standards. Within weeks, she was issuing violation notices for everything from trash cans left out an hour too long to grass that was half an inch above regulation height. Most neighbors grumbled but complied, not wanting to face her wrath or the fine she enthusiastically imposed. I managed to stay off her radar until last week when she knocked on my door with that smile that never quite reached her eyes. "Mike, so glad I caught you home. I'm hosting a charity garden party this Sunday, and we're expecting quite a turnout. The mayor might even make an appearance." She clasped her hands together excitedly. "I noticed you have that lovely empty space behind your house. Would you mind if a few guests parked there?" "Actually, I would mind," I replied. "That area connects to a military access road. It's restricted property and I'm legally obligated to keep it secured." Karen's smile tightened. "Don't be ridiculous. I've lived in this neighborhood for 15 years and there's nothing military back there. It's just an old service road. I understand how it might look that way, but trust me, it's not. The facility is unmarked for security reasons." I signed legal documents. "Fine," she interrupted, rolling her eyes. "I'll find someone more community-minded to help." She turned on her heel and marched away. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. Sunday morning, I left early to visit my parents who live an hour away. When I returned that evening, I found 5 luxury cars parked behind my house. The heavy-duty padlock on my gate had been cut clean through, and the gate stood wide open, giving direct access to the military road. In a panic, I called the military security number I'd been given when I moved in. While waiting for them to arrive, I spotted Karen strolling along the back path in a flowery dress, champagne glass in hand, escorting an older couple to their car. "Karen, what have you done?" I shouted, pointing at the cut lock. "This is a restricted access point." She waved dismissively. "Oh, stop being so dramatic. The road's been abandoned for years. My husband cut that ridiculous lock because you were being uncooperative. We left a note in your mailbox explaining everything. You can't just..." "Listen," she interrupted, her voice dropping to a hiss as her guests climbed into their Mercedes. "This is a community, and sometimes we need to make sacrifices for the greater good." The mayor was very impressed with my event, and that reflects well on all of us. Property values, Mike. Think about property values. Before I could respond, 3 unmarked black SUVs came roaring down the access road, stopping abruptly behind the parked cars. 6 men in tactical gear jumped out, weapons at the ready. "Security breach. Everyone on the ground now," one of them shouted. Karen's face went from smug to horrified in an instant. "What is happening?" she shrieked as one of the officers firmly guided her to the ground. "Ma'am, you've breached a secured military communications facility perimeter," the officer explained calmly as he handcuffed her. "That's a federal offense." What followed was absolute chaos. Karen's remaining guests were detained, their IDs checked, and their vehicles searched thoroughly. The mayor, who indeed had attended, was escorted away by 2 officers to a private area for questioning. Karen's husband was brought over from their house in handcuffs after admitting he'd cut the lock. As I explained my side of the story to the security team leader, I could see Karen's mascara-streaked face as she sat in the back of one of the SUVs, frantically making phone calls. "Sir, did you authorize anyone to access this gate?" the team leader asked me. "Absolutely not," I replied. "I specifically told Mrs. Matthews that this was a restricted area and denied her request to use it for parking." The officer nodded. "We have the security footage from the hidden cameras that confirms your account. You're not in any trouble, but we'll need you to file a formal report." By midnight, the situation had calmed somewhat. Karen and her husband were taken to the military base for further questioning about potential security breaches. The guests were eventually released after signing non-disclosure agreements, though their vehicles were impounded for thorough inspection. The next morning, our neighborhood chat group exploded with messages. Apparently, Karen and her husband spent the night in military custody before being released with pending federal charges for tampering with government property and breaching a secure facility. 2 days later, Karen's resignation from the HOA board arrived in everyone's inbox, along with a terse apology for any inconvenience caused by her garden party. No mention of the military incident, of course. The following week, a construction crew arrived at my back gate. They installed a new reinforced steel gate with an electronic lock system, security cameras, and a sign that now clearly stated, "Restricted area, unauthorized access prohibited, violators will be prosecuted." As they worked, my next-door neighbor Tom wandered over. "So, all this time there was actually something important back there?" he asked, staring at the imposing new gate. "Yep," I nodded. "And Karen just cut the lock and invited half the neighborhood plus the mayor to park there." "Yep." Tom shook his head in disbelief. "What happened to her anyway? She hasn't been seen since that night." I shrugged. "No idea. But there's a for sale sign going up at her house tomorrow, according to the realtor who just left me her card." A month later, our neighborhood elected a new HOA president, a retired school teacher who promised a live and let live approach to community management. Karen and her husband moved away without saying goodbye to anyone, though rumors circulated that they had to attend mandatory security awareness training as part of their plea deal. As for me, I received a formal thank you letter from the military base commander for maintaining protocol despite civilian pressure. They also installed a direct alarm button inside my house connected to their security team just in case. The best part? I'm now exempt from all HOA regulations due to my property's special security status. My grass can grow as tall as I want, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Sometimes, karma works in mysterious ways, with a little help from national security protocols.